Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're new, my name is Michelle and we are getting into House of the Dragon episode 6 today. But before we do, if y'all can drop a like on the video because it really helps in the algorithm and trying to grow the channel, I'd appreciate it. Now, last episode, we left off with Jacaerys and Rhaenyra coming up with the idea to sort of like look into all of the marriages of princes and princesses who didn't take the throne but ended up marrying into different great houses, different noble houses, and using their bloodline to see if they can claim Silverwing or Vermithor. And I think that's a really good idea because at this point Daemon is a huge question mark. As Rhaenyra said, Vermax is very young. They've lost Meleys. Rhaena isn't a dragon rider. I wonder if you can test Corlys, but his ass is old. Then again, Rhaenys, well, no. Corlys is much, in the show, I don't know their ages. But I do know in the books, yeah, Rhaenys is much younger than Corlys. But I'm liking that we have a plan going forward here. Like, Team Black has a goal. Now, Team Green is kind of imploding in my opinion because I think Aemon made two very big mistakes. If it was Aemon's idea to drag Meleys through the street, that was a very big no-no because you're kind of like ripping. It's like, you know, it's funny because I think I've seen The Wizard of Oz. I was probably so young when I saw it, but we all know about the man behind the curtain. Like when the illusion is broken when you see the man behind the curtain. It feels like that's what Aemon was doing when he pulled Meleys through the street. It's like you are poking holes in your own lore of what makes you great. You know, the Targaryen exceptionalism is like going down the drain when the people can see flies covering a dragon's head feasting on it. Like if it's a dead person off the side of the street, or like food being displayed. It's like he says it, I thought they were gods. Like, no, they're just meat. Big no-no. And then on top of that, he shut the gates. And I think he's definitely sowing the seeds for a revolt. Rhaenyra has also snuck Alinda into King's Landing. To what end, I'm not sure, but Mysaria and her have something cooking. I would imagine it's to further create discord amongst the people based off what Mysaria was saying to Rhaenyra. That's what I'm assuming. They're gonna like rile the people up even more. Like let's get this shit going. And then we also have Daemon messing up big time in the Riverlands. He let Willem do some really messed up things to the Brackens and they ain't having it, and I don't blame them for not having it. Like, dude, that's really messed up. You can't help but wonder if there was another way to secure their allegiance, especially after seeing the way Jacaerys just treated with the Freys. Like, not to say that Daemon didn't try diplomacy, but at least, like, you know, ask them what they want. Like, you know, what is it that we can do for you in exchange for your allegiance? And even then, going to such deplorable actions was a little heavy, Daemon. Just a little heavy. Anyways, I'm really excited to see where the whole King's Landing crowd plot goes, and as well as like now that Rhaenyra and Jacaerys have a plan going forward. Corlys also seemingly is accepting Hand of the Queen, so hopefully he makes an appearance and he's there to help, and Team Black just continues to shape up and Team Green can continue to implode. And at this point, Alicent really just needs to like get a little poison, put some in Aemon's cup, and then like get a nice good pillow and put it over Aegon, and then, you know, problem solved. Like, shit, just give him the throne to Rhaenyra. Let's do it. I don't see anything wrong with that. Anyways, let's get into this episode. So grab a drink, grab a snack, whatever it is you like to do when you want your favorite reactions. Just get comfortable and let's get to. It's been so long since we've heard the theme.
The Golden Tooth is honored to receive you, my Lord Lannister. We are ready to march at your command, my lord. I suppose you will make for Harrenhal at once.
I want you to send a raven to King's Landing. As soon as Prince Aemond is able to join us. On Vega.
He dares to summon me! The Lannisters so diminished that they cannot march from the Tooth to Harrenhal without an escort.
Well, Daemon has Caraxes.
There is a large dragon in the river.
Yeah, I was about to say.
My brother's army is strong, but it does seem to
I am the
surprise me
Prince
that-
Regent, not a dog to be called to heel.
Dude, they're gonna be dead.
Take what strength we have and force Daemon and his riverlords to fight on two
Why
fronts.
doesn't he go out?
Wisely. We would do better to await the High Tower host and set out in good time.
There is no time.
And you yourself?
I'll fly out to meet you when the time is ripe. My uncle is a challenge I welcome, if he dares face me.
You know, you're sending everybody out there but yourself. So,
I see we're all agreed.
okay, Aemon's worse than Aegon. Time to get rid of him. I mean, they're both horrible, but this one's got to go. Oh, yeah, that's what I put it on. Yeah, let's go Team Black. He's the Black in Team Black. Yeah, he's like, I'm the real Team Black around here. Shit.
Your Grace.
This makes me happy.
And I see now that to do that, I need more dragon riders. For Vermithor and Silverwing, and for Seasmoke, who I believe misses his bond.
Then who could do it?
You.
So it's like, wait, me?
I must protest, Your Grace, the risk involved in such a venture.
Well, yes, bitch. It's gonna be risky.
The dragons are gods.
How about I hit that one? Shut up.
I well understand the risk, and I accept it with gladness. I swore to ward my queen with all my strength and to give my blood for hers. That is my oath, Your Grace.
Then perhaps the gods will favor us.
Child, you gonna die in me? Oh shit. Why am I laughing? It's wrong to laugh. Oh my god, I can't stand seeing him right now. Daemon, I swear to god, if this is another fucking hallucination, is it just me? Like, what's the general consensus behind people's feelings? Oh, okay. I take back everything I just said. Is that Viserys?
The heir for a day. Did you say it?
You can't possibly still be angry about this.
You have no allies at court but me. I have only ever defended you. And everything I've given you, you've thrown back in my face.
I was just talking about Viserys last episode and then he's back. I swear, I wish the show had like slowed down so we could have gotten 2 seasons of Patty. Oh my god.
Open the door!
Locked up, they won't let me out. Simon's like, what the fuck is wrong with this man? Oh my goodness.
Are you playing out, old man?
I do wonder, Your Grace, if you're getting enough sleep. This old place. Are you mocking me?
No.
Sit!
You are an agent of the High Tower rabble.
Okay, take 2 steps back from Simon. He ain't do nothing to nobody.
Or is it Rhaenyra herself?
I saw you.
Sorry, Your Grace.
Nah, it's the old gods and Alice Rivers and your own guilt that's haunting the shit out of you.
You struggle to see there's an anger that blinds you.
She never even wanted it, the crown. She spared it no thought.
Well, that's perhaps why your brother gave the crown to her.
Well, she never thought it was possible because she's a girl. She never wanted it. Well, she didn't think it was possible.
It's not a prize to be won, but a burden to bear.
I like that line. It's not a price to be won, but a burden to be bared.
If you have any counsel for dealing with the River Lords, I'd be glad of it.
He's like, help me.
Tully's wisdom has kept the river houses in line for centuries. They would kill each other to the last man if it were not for their liege lord.
What are we doing?
I need
with the
help, Alice.
Oh, that's okay.
Do nothing now.
Maybe that's what this is about. That's right, beg for help. Of course, the quality just freaking dropped. I hate this fucking.
Do not show fear.
Ribas!
Oh my god.
Mujeres! See smoke!
Oh. Okay, see smoke. Bitch, what if it's luring him in? Oh my god. What if Sea Smoke's like, come closer. You want to claim me? Come here. Oh my god. Sea Smoke's about to hit him with the, oh shit. I don't trust it.
I've done it.
Head off the horse!
Back up!
I myself, if you recall, was in favour of treating with Lord Mutton to march on Rook's Rest, a more conventional approach. True, not as sensational. We may yet retake...
Oh. Okay then.
It is my fault, I think, that you have forgotten to fear me.
Bitch, is there a bird outside my window? It is late as shit. Why are birds up at this time of night? Go to sleep. It is 2 a.m.
It does occur to me that your grace has yet to name a hand. Sir Kristen, of course, served your brother, but you need one who may advance your cause.
He's about to put himself forward.
I'll make it your responsibility.
My prince, it is
You
an
did
honor.
not just
Well, not to serve as hand. You towed to fetch him. Send word to Otto Hightower.
He's about to scream help. You trying to kill me?
What do you remember?
You trying to off me?
Nothing.
Oh. Oh, he lying.
You challenged Meleese. It's foolish.
I remember nothing.
I want mother.
Yes. Well, I know it's...
Oh, is there a dragon out here? Those look like charred remains. Oh, look at them! Oh my goodness, look at that little baby dragon. Oh my goodness. They shake like pups.
Rumour of it began shortly after the war, ranging more broadly for food. It is large and formidable, but alas wild.
Is she gonna claim this dragon?
It was a bold attempt.
But we must keep going. Come on, throw some more in there.
They say you struck Lord Bartimus today, in view of the staff and guard.
Oh.
They must see in me a ruler. And the symbols of authority are not jewels and gowns, but the shield and the sword.
My ruler is my mother, and I do not wish it otherwise.
Aww.
I have directed Lord Mouton to march on Rook's Rest, and sent another raven to the Vale to persuade...
We may marshal the strength of the Vale, Maidenpool, and all our allies besides.
You need dragons.
We need Daemon and his dragon.
May I be free for even 1 hour of the constant refrain of Daemon, Daemon, Daemon.
Your Grace.
Our gift is sent.
What are they sending?
What gift?
It is hope for clouds over the Blackwater tonight.
Okay. I'm seeing the vision. Oh! Okay, Mysaria!
My son Daeron, what's he like?
He's stalwart, as adept with his lute as he is with his sword, and a feature in the fancies of many a young lady, I'll wager. He's kind.
That's what she wants to hear.
That's good. Kindness is a quality I found lacking in his brothers.
Yes, it seems the Red Keep, for all its privileges, may in fact be a less than salubrious environment.
Well, she taught them to...
Was it the court? Was it their mother?
Yeah.
I'm sure you did your best.
I mean, we saw how Alicent raised them in episode 6. She raised them to take the throne. I can't imagine that's gonna do well for them. I mean, hearing over and over, your sister's gonna kill you, your sister's gonna kill you, unless you take the throne, there's, you know, war, you're the true heir, and all this blah blah blah. I mean...
Your Graces, we must leave. Now.
Oh shit. Why not just leave them in there? Why expose them right now? Or did they know they were in there? Oh shit! Yeah.
Get to the wheelhouse!
Oh, please, no one touch Helena. Oh my god, no one touch Helena.
No!
Oh shit! Oh my god, get Helena out of there. Helena was just sitting in her room with her fucking crickets, and now here she's... Should have left that girl alone. Yeah! Long live Queen Rhaenyra! What's your end goal? Oh, bitch, is this another hallucination? Okay, I'm glad we're getting more Patty, though. I'm not mad at it.
David, she's gone.
I'm sorry.
Oh, is this what he wishes he had done? Oh, shit. Is Seasmoke saying, I want you, Pikachu? Or I choose you? Seasmoke said, get your ass back here. I chose you, Pikachu! Oh, shit. How the hell did these dragons just disappear like that? Big. Oh shit! God damn! Seasmoke's about to tell him, yo, there was some dude who tried to claim me earlier today, or yesterday, whenever. I wasn't for it.
I do not think I can win this war.
Oh.
My own son questions my capabilities. He thinks I need Daemon at my side.
Well, I mean...
And I was what he wanted. Cherished by my father and made my father's heir. We were halves of a whole. He wished to possess me, but not to be possessed. And even if we somehow prevailed, how will I rule a kingdom when my own son doubts me?
You have me. It was my father, who was still a child. He had his pleasure with me. Evident that his seed had taken root.
Well, I'm disgusted.
He left me for dead, but I lived. This world is cold and cruel, and there are few in it who are steadfast. You, I think, are steadfast. I believe you are meant to be queen.
Aw. Is this going where I think it's about to go? Yeah, it's going where I think it's about to go. Yeah. That does create very interesting implications.
Begging your pardon.
That music felt ominous.
The dragon sea smoke has been sighted flying over Spice.
The music was not joyous.
Yes, he does that.
Yes, he does that.
He has a rider.
Who?
Impossible to tell from the ground.
Oh, God. Y'all doubt and mistrust each other because there's just no communication there. Y'all don't talk. Okay, then. Okay, so that was episode 6, and Rhaenyra and Mysaria. That was like a really interesting turn. I'm more excited to see like how certain plot points play out now that they're romantic. Like, I'm more interested in like further plot progression. Like, there's certain events that happen later on that now I'm like, now that they're romantic, that's gonna be real interesting to see how this plays out. That's a really, really interesting twist they put on that relationship. Because I will say this, I was very curious as to how, because there were certain things like Mysaria. I don't want, well, let me not get ahead because I feel like it'd be a little spoilery to like detail Mysaria and Rhaenyra's relationship. Because there was a point in Rhaenyra's life where pretty much Mysaria was the only one she was like close to. But how did that happen? How did Mysaria, of all people, end up so close to Rhaenyra where she was like the only person? Like, you can see this, like them crafting that like allegation. Like this is like the seeding of it. It's romantic. There was a romantic and a bond there. That's so interesting. I like how they're doing Rhaenyra and Mysaria a lot. The isolation of her council, her isolation with Jacaerys, her isolation with Daemon. It really does help build the Rhaenyra Mysaria relationship and try to make sense of that, because there are certain very big plot points down the line, very, very important pivotal things that happen that Mysaria is very much involved in. But it's like, how did Rhaenyra get to the place where she's listening to Mysaria was like a big, like, it was a question mark. But you would have to kind of like, it wasn't necessarily about her, Mysaria, but more so about everyone else that kind of you could fit in the puzzle pieces to make it make sense, given the very little information you're given in Fire and Blood. But this is a very unique take, making them romantic. And I am very curious to see that dynamic between her, Daemon, and Rhaenyra further in. Like, I'm very interested. Like, I'm really engaged in this now. Like, I am committed to see how this plays out. It's so messy. Like, really fucking messy. But I will say Rhaenyra and Jacaerys, I don't want them to fight. Like, this whole conflict, the thing is, I feel like so much of this could be dispelled with conversations and compromises. And I would rather they be a united front as mother and son. I think neither one of them is wrong. I don't think Rhaenyra is wrong. I don't think Jacaerys is wrong. I think Jacaerys makes a valuable point where I get it. Rhaenyra is very much frustrated with the Daemon question of all, and I completely understand it. He's being a butthead over there, though it seems like he's coming to his senses now. But previously, he's definitely being like a little jackass at this point, not responding to her letters. That's so unnecessary and unhelpful. With that being said, I don't fault Jacaerys for like bringing up Daemon, because he has Caraxes and he has been to war on the back of a dragon. So just there is such use there, and Caraxes and Daemon are a very formidable duo. Like you can't, like, here's the thing, you have Silverwing, you have Vermithor, that's great. If you can, like, and we definitely have Sea Smoke, like, you get all of those under your command, excellent. Just maybe by sheer power and just sheer numbers, I should say, maybe you can axe the Daemon question out of it. But as it stands, even with Sea Smoke, you still need Daemon, and it's not necessarily Daemon you need, it's Caraxes you absolutely need. And that's why Jacaerys is sort of bringing him up. Like, he is a big question mark, not to mention if he is betraying her, that will need to be that's gonna have to be answered at some point. So I can see Rhaenyra being frustrated with the Daemon of it all, but I don't think Jacaerys was necessarily wrong broaching, like he even says it, like, my ruler is my mother is my ruler, I wouldn't have it any other way. Like, you know, I don't see him questioning her in bad faith, is what I'm saying. Like, I don't think Jacaerys is like fighting with his mom or questioning her decisions out of bad faith. Like, it's not him like just doubting her because she's a woman, or doubting her because he thinks he's incapable. I do think he wants his mother to succeed genuinely, because it is to do with his love for her. Like, you don't want anything to happen to your mom. Like, if we lose, that means you die. Like, it's his mom, and I'm pretty sure he's already lost his brother. Like, that's all. Lucerys is always gonna like hang over them. Like, they've already lost too much. Like, one child dying is one too many, so that'll always hang over them, and the desire to not have that happen again and protect one another can probably lead to them breaking apart. But I'd rather, you know, her as the mother and her as the adult. If you gotta grab your son by the neck and have him sit down and talk with one another and find a compromise, it's the lack of communication that I think is like killing everything right now. Like, y'all need to communicate. That is your son and that is your mother. Sit down and talk. But that moment of him walking away in the Mysaria, like, you know, coming in, and I'm like, that's real cute and all, but I'd rather that be Jacaerys. Like, that needs to be Jacaerys. That is like your heir. That is, you know, mother and son. Like unite up, man. Like, Mysaria is very useful, and she did a damn good like political play with that the food. That was genius. That was brilliant, and great use of resources to win the people. So she is definitely of like worth much more than the council. But you can tell Jacaerys felt some type of way that there was something being said there and he's not included. Like, there's an exclusion part that Jacaerys is grappling with, that I think he feels she's excluding me because she doesn't think much of me. Like he says, he feels like he's a coddling prince. She doesn't trust him. She's bottling him up. And then Rhaenyra, on the other hand, is like, he doesn't trust me. He doubts me. You see how a conversation or two can solve these problems? Make a promise to be open with each other. You keep confidence with one another. You divulge every bit of information to one another and have a united front. But alas, nothing can go right. So those two, I do think it's not good that they are not communicating, and that they, you know, Jacaerys thinks his mom doesn't really like think of him as capable, and Rhaenyra thinks Jacaerys doesn't think he's capable either, and they're like blocking out good resources, people that they should lean on and count on. Kind of sucks that that's happening, but hopefully going forward, some way, somehow, like when Adam and Seasmoke pop up, like it says, okay, we're getting somewhere, you know, like we have one dragon down, we have another dragon, and maybe with more dragons claimed, the Daemon question of it all is easier to solve, because I think it's harder to engage with the Daemon question because there is no other option but, you know, trying to get him on your side. But if you can find something or someone to kind of make up in the event that Daemon is a turncloak, that makes the Daemon question a bit easier to solve. I think that's why it's of such contention. Like, they don't have an army. He's needed for his dragon. But if you get more, if you find other resources along the way, you're good, you're solid. You can kind of grapple with Daemon, the question mark of him. Though I think Daemon, let's talk about Daemon. Daemon is coming around. I think we saw him sort of humble himself a bit to ask Alice for help, and she came through. So hopefully that's a good lesson for Daemon. And we got to see Patty again, and I'm telling you, and I said this in the reaction, I would have not minded if the show took 2 seasons to get to the war. Like, just 2 seasons of setup for it, like really good. Because I feel like some things were rushed in season 1. That's just in my opinion. I feel like certain bonds and relationships could have been fleshed out a bit more. I definitely think Daemon and Laena, his daughters, that whole family unit could have been like fleshed out a bit more. I think Rhaenyra not having even so much as a conversation with any of her siblings, like she's never spoke, like we've never actually had Rhaenyra talk to her brothers, to her sister, like that's just, it's never happened in the story. And I feel like if you slowed the show down and built those relationships more and then have them implode with like really big implications of years of knowing each other, no matter how contentious those relationships might have been, you were in the same vicinity, we saw them talk, we saw them like converse and grapple with certain things down the line. Like I don't know, it's just like a blank hole. And I say all this to say, because if they had done that, we would have gotten more of Patty, who I think Viserys is the show's like I'd say he's their most like I do think he is their most well-written character. That's just how I feel. Like from episode 1 to when he passed away in episode 8, I think he's the character who's probably had like the most complete arc. Granted, a lot of these characters' arcs aren't over yet, but Viserys does have the luxury of being dead, so I can say that his character for me was like the best improvement from his Fire and Blood counterpart. I think they really did. And Patty is just such a great actor who has such conviction and love and warmth. And he just played I just miss him. He played the hell out of Viserys, though. I'm telling you, I love the actor. I love the character. I love that what the show did with him. And I would have enjoyed 2 seasons of Viserys' character and just time to like build Rhaenyra's relationships up with her siblings as well as more of like Jacaerys and Aemond and Aegon and Lucerys, just more of the kids too would have been really good, and just more of those relationships, I guess. Also, I can get more Viserys, but seeing him back and kind of reliving those really big pivotal moments, because I think I'd say Daemon and Viserys, they didn't really have a lot of scenes in season 1, believe it or not. Strangely enough, I don't think they really did. I'm trying to think back. I mean, you had episode 1, but then they were separated for 2 and 3, and then you had them again for 4, and then they were separated again. They didn't speak in like 5 and 6, and then they came back together, I think, was it for 7? And then they had that beautiful moment in 8. I just wish we got more of them, you know, because I really do enjoy Viserys' character, and just he looms large over the narrative. Like if you really think about it, all of this tracks back to Viserys and Aemma. Like if you really think about it, Viserys and Aemma really loom heavy over the narrative and everyone's choices going forward, and this entire conflict and the lack of heirs, and naming Rhaenyra as heir out of an act of love in name of Aemma, but not even just naming her, because I really do think Otto really masterminded the naming of Rhaenyra, but Viserys's refusal to then switch to Aegon had a lot to do with his love for Aemma and wanting Aemma's daughter, the only child she was really capable of having, to rule and to be heir. And I think so much conviction in his choice behind that tracks back to his love for Aemma. And so seeing Daemon now be there the way Viserys wished he had been, and if he was there for her, he would have never not been taken down from his place as heir. Viserys would have just, I don't think Viserys would have ever ripped Daemon off that pedestal if Daemon just showed a bit more humanity towards him and that relationship and had been there more. I think ultimately both of them just wanted their brother to love better. Like, I think Daemon just wanted Viserys to love him better, and Viserys just wanted Daemon to love him better. And once again, it's the lack of communication that really just broke everything down. That's why I think seeing Jacaerys and Rhaenyra not talk things all the way through and leave so much unspoken annoys me, because we saw that again. We saw that with Viserys and Daemon. I truly believe those two loved one another. I do think Daemon loved Viserys and Viserys loved Daemon. It was just the how to love one another was never nailed down because the communication was lost. Somewhere along the way, it was just broken. And neither one of them repaired it. Neither one of them truly stopped to understand the other. And so the relationship just broke down. And so someone like Otto could just kind of sit back and, just kind of observe that relationship and know where its weaknesses are and exploit that. And sure enough, he did. Like, it was clear Otto wanted Daemon out of the seat of power. And child, I don't blame that man for wanting Daemon far from power, because that man is a menace. Fucking menace. Like, I mean, Daemon has really just proven Otto right in a lot of ways. Like, you don't need to be anywhere near the throne, sir. Like, you are a mess of a menace. And I do think Otto timed it correctly. Like, he just kind of had to wait for Daemon to do what Daemon does and then hand him the heir for a day. Like, when someone just can't help but put their foot in their mouth, and all you have to do is wait for them to take an extra step and cross a line. And then that's what all Otto did. That's all Otto had to do. Wait for Daemon to do what Daemon does and then give Viserys the information. All of it could have been avoided. But here's the thing. Otto couldn't have exploited that weakness if Daemon was there for Viserys the night Aemma died, or that entire just throughout their lives. If they were there for each other the way both of them needed the other to be there, Otto can't exploit that. Otto can't come between them. The only reason Otto could come between them, the only reason Otto could give the information to Viserys is because neither one of them were there for each other. I think Daemon definitely felt slighted by Viserys and unseen, and I think it goes both ways. I think that relationship was just irrevocably broken and nothing was fixed. Daemon came back to Westeros, but he stayed on Dragonstone for 6 years and didn't go see Viserys. Like, how do you come back to Westeros? Dragonstone and King's Landing isn't far. How do you just ignore your brother who's dying? That's like one thing that really annoys me about both Daemon and Rhaenyra. For 6 years, you didn't go see Viserys? Y'all waited until they made a move for the throne to get up off your asses and go check on Viserys? It's like, really? Really? I think that's probably what annoys me the most about those two, is like, for 6 years, you didn't go to King's Landing. You just let Otto and Alicent and Aemon and all of them just kind of run loose. So it's like, whatever. I like, y'all did not try. Like, there was no attempt made during those 6 years to go make things right with Viserys, even though y'all know he's getting sicker. So seeing Daemon hug Viserys, and while Viserys cried into him, that's all he had to do. Like, can you imagine all you had to do was hug your brother and you'd still be heir? Dude's a fucking idiot. All you had to do was hug that man. Hug that man and you'd still be heir. David, a dumbass. Anyways, speaking of dumbasses, we got Aegon and Larys, you know, two bum bitches saying exactly to each other. Like, one is a rapist and the other one murdered both his father and brother. Y'all ain't getting no sympathy, like, for me. No, honey child. No honey bean. Larys, Aemon is the only one who just outright looked at that man and said, listen here, you little fucking toad, I want you far from this council. And that's what needs to be done. Larys walking around, you know, there's certain people, like, okay, Mysaria. She is someone who I don't question being around, because she's like, I don't know, she doesn't come off as like, Larys just like, it's his face. Like, there's just something, like, you look like you're up to no good. Like, Larys, you look shisty. Like, and you know, there's some people you look at them like, I just know your ass ain't up to anything good. Look at you, you planted something. Larys looks like that. Like, why is Larys still here? There are certain characters that I always question. Why are they still here? Like, not in House of the Dragon, but like in any TV show. Like, you look distrustful. You look like someone who might stab me in the back. I should just kill you and preempt the betrayal. Larys strikes me as that. He looks untrustful. Like, you look like someone who is out to get me. Let me just kill you right now. What does Larys want? What is his endgame? What is his goal? He's like, people underestimate us. But what is your goal? Like, we know Aegon's goal, but what is your goal? What is Larys's endgame? You know, Larys as a character for me is a little weak. And I would like to at least get, like, this was a good episode for Larys in terms of like widening his character in terms of where he's coming from. Well, not even where he's coming from, but like how he goes about developing like him saying that he learned to suffer that, like when he takes the milk of the poppy from him and is essentially saying, sharpen your mind, deal with the suffering, like deal with the pain, because you need to learn how to do that the way Larys had to learn how to do it. So we got a little bit more about Larys, but I'm gonna need a bit more, because right now he strikes me as a very weak character. His motivations are still unclear. He's just like this swarmy guy that I look around the council and I'm like, y'all haven't killed this man yet. Why? I get it. He's like the master of whispers. Find somebody else, because this one ain't it. He needs to be gone. Like, he's just a character. I'm like, no one's killed you yet. Why? You need to be dead. That's how I feel with Larys. Like, y'all ain't take him out yet. Why? So I want a little bit more of information behind Larys. What is your end game here, sir? What is your goal? Are you here for the throne? Are you here for ultimate power? Would you like to be I feel like maybe that's what it is. Like, he gave up his, like when he was angling for hand with Aemon, and when he said no, he's like, well, time to go back to Aegon, because you are my best bet at being hand. So maybe he wants to be hand of the king, because hand of the king is generally it's like thought to be the second most powerful position in Westeros, but it can low-key be the most powerful position in Westeros, because you can be puppeteering the king. So it can be both. You can be second most powerful man as well as the most powerful man in Westeros. So maybe that's what Larys wants. I'm assuming. Now, Alicent, she asked about our little Daeron. I always kind of get a little chuckle anytime they mention him. For a long time there, I thought they weren't going to ever mention Daeron, but they're mentioning him. They're sort of like slow rolling. Like, they're like, A little more name drop here, a little name drop there, a little name drop there. We're gonna like slow roll him into the show. I wonder if he's casted yet. I'm very curious if they casted the actor yet. Anyways, Alicent, oh sweet Alicent, her asking about like what's Daeron like was sad. It was sad to like you can tell what she's really cripping for, like what she wants to know is if he's kind, and her brother kind of senses that and he says yes, like he's kind. And then, you know, she kind of takes that moment to reflect that is it him being raised away from court or being raised away from his mother? And I think it's a bit of both that has probably led to Daeron being kind and you know, something that's absent of his brothers. I do think the implications of the way Otto raised Alicent and then the way Alicent raised the children, it's a generational thing and it can't be looked at in a vacuum. I think the children, and even for Otto, I think we did get a small hint. If you all recall back in season 1, his brother kind of pressuring him to get Aegon get Viserys to name Aegon heir. So you can see the generational pressuring and the influences. Like, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's all kind of there. You just have to kind of pay attention and pick up on it. But yeah, I think Otto getting into Alicent's head and then Alicent getting into the children's head. I think there's been moments where Alicent has been unkind herself, particularly to Rhaenyra, particularly to when we first met the older versions of Alicent. They definitely set her up to be someone who has been, you know, smile in your face, but unkind. Like the mean girl smile, like, haha, yeah. Well, in reality, they're like stabbing you in the belly while they're smiling type interaction. You definitely got that sense that Alicent has definitely secured a position of power over Rhaenyra when we did that time skip. So I do think there have been moments where Alicent herself has been unkind and has raised the children to view her, Rhaenyra, as an enemy, as someone who could and will kill them. Their own sister will kill them. The children are bastards, and bastards are like inherently evil, manipulative things. Like in Westeros, you know, bastards are just viewed to be people who are bitter over their illegitimacy and will always be looking to like connive their way into that space of legitimacy. They will always be envious. They will always be looking to take from the legitimate children, is kind of how they're positioned in Westeros. They're just viewed as inherently evil things that are going to do terrible things. So just Alicent breathing that information into the boys and raising them with that belief that their sister will kill them if she gains that throne. I think that breeds a certain level of paranoia, and it's such a shame we never got any interaction between Rhaenyra and the children. The only time they seemingly spoke or acknowledged each other was in the Driftmark episode when Lucerys took Aemon's eye. Like, that's like the closest level of interaction we've gotten, and that's such a shame. I feel like that is really a missed opportunity by House of the Dragon as a whole, to not have Aemon Rhaenyra speak never once. Aegon Rhaenyra, Helena Rhaenyra, they've never spoken, and that to me is a bit strange. And I think that is a very big loss by the show to not delve into those relationships individually, especially with Alicent's the things she was telling them about her, and having them their own, like maybe the children could have formed their own opinion of Rhaenyra themselves, and then have them kind of balance the things that their mother is telling them in their head and the conflict that could spin in each of the children, particularly Aemon and particularly Aegon. Just a missed opportunity to not delve into the relationship between Rhaenyra and her brothers and sister. But yes, Alicent kind of being self-aware enough to say that maybe her presence in the boy's life and the things she's taught them, and seeing her hit Aegon over and over to kind of steer him into a better direction, I think there's just so many faults there, and I don't believe the buck starts and ends with Alicent. I think you have to open up the scope of responsibility to her father, as well as the absence of a mother. I know her mother died, and that's not on anyone, but just the absence of a mother and the type of fathering Otto then displayed in regards to Alicent. I think it can't just all fall on her. She's not all to blame in regards to how Aemon and Aegon have turned out. I think the blame game goes further than her, but she's definitely a part of it. And she is self-aware enough in that moment to kind of be reflective to how she raised Aemon and Aegon. And it was a very heartbreaking moment to see her just get dismissed the way Aemon did. It sucks. But she can remedy it with just, what do they say? A poison is like a woman's weapon. Just get some poison. And Aegon, you don't have to work so hard with Aegon. He can barely breathe. Just lightly put a pillow. You don't have to hold it down either. Just lightly constrict his breathing. And I'm telling you, that's all Alicent has to do. That's it. Anyways, this is a really good episode, and I really do think it opens up a lot with Mysaria and Rhaenyra, and then Daemon, and certain plot points that happen down the line. Really does make me excited to see how that unfolds. The romantic element to Mysaria is something I really do enjoy, because it just makes me want to see the mess it causes so much more down the line. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all for the next episode. Take care, everyone.